views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hey, how are you? How you feeling? I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and welcome to Open BXRX. Hey, we got a goodie for you. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from a registered dietitian who will talk to us about a major branding change within her organization and what that means for her and their customers. Then we'll speak to a local pastor whose influence extends not only beyond his congregation, but beyond our beautiful city. Plus, we'll learn how one artist is putting new meaning to one man's trash is another man or woman's treasure. After that, my man Bobby C has the latest in the world of sports. And then we'll learn about how a mother of four is attempting to make a significant impact on her community. Stay tuned. All of this and more is headed your way because we are now open. Hello, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's a live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media, through BronxNet TV. All right, we've got you covered. Our next guest, or first guest, is a ShopRite registered dietitian, and she joins us to talk about the expansion and rebranding of ShopRite's award-winning Wholesome. They got the Wholesome Pantry going on, and Wholesome Pantry organic product line, and shares a healthy recipe that anyone can make at home. All right, so please welcome to the show, Shelbi, Thurau. Welcome.
Hi, Bob. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell us all about the healthy eating and healthy living that you guys are working with over at ShopRite.
Absolutely. So as a registered dietitian for ShopRite, one of our most important things is being a store of choices and making sure that we have all the choices for whatever our customers' needs are. And that's the wonderful thing about this Wholesome Pantry line and all of the lines in our own brands portfolio, Bowl and Basket, Paper Bird, is that it came directly from consumer and associate feedback. So we are giving the people what they want, and we're rebranding it too. So today I have a bunch of the products here, and I'm going to use a couple of them in the recipe. But our Wholesome Pantry line specifically, it's free from 110 artificial ingredients and additives. And we also have organic products in that line, which meet the USDA criteria for organic. So a lot of fun and delicious things.
Yeah. What inspired the shift to ShopRite's Wholesome Pantry and Wholesome Pantry organic product line?
So we launched the line a couple of years ago in 2018, and the customer response has always been so wonderful. And we really wanted to take the opportunity to, again, listen to our customer feedback and really bring this line to life with what we were hearing from them. So a lot of the rebrand will involve a big relaunch over the next 24 months. We're going to be launching a lot of new and innovative products. Already we have some new probiotic drinks to start your day off right with that gut health.
Yeah.
And tons of our fresh vegetables have already launched, as well as breakfast bowls. And I know as a shopper, I'm so excited every time I go into the store seeing these new nut butters and all these new products. So, you know, we're really just moving forward and expanding a line that our customers already love.
Now, when you speak about probiotics, explain to our audience how that works. There's a lot
Sure. So again, I think between being a dietitian and also being a dietitian in the retail space, I love food first. That's always been the way that I talk to people about how to eat well and be happy, because I'm always going to prefer to get my vitamins and my nutrients from food and beverages. So rather than for me, you know, I would much rather drink a delicious, you know, lemon lime soda-like drink to get those good for you probiotics, which feed your gut health and feed that good bacteria. And that's how I like to, you know, start a day. with something delicious. And eating well is all part of that too. It's just the way that you stay, you know, healthy and stay happy.
And Shelbi, you know, of course, with the pandemic, we all need to try to stay healthy and be in line, because we never know. They talk about a next wave and all of this. So how does this help?
Well, myself and my counterpart, Stephanie, we're both dietitians for ShopRite, and we go on social media every day of the week, doing a lot with meal inspirations. So whether it's Instagram Live or Facebook, we are on every day showing you a new recipe from our collection. And every week we feature 3 recipes in our circular about meal solutions that are all 5 ingredients or less. And they're all aimed at convenience, aimed at getting dinner on your table quickly. And part of taking care of yourself is taking pride in your food. And that all starts with putting a meal on your table. And that's certainly what I'm all about. So I love being able to do that for our customers. And I love being able to bring these products to life and bring these recipes to life in our digital space for our customers who have now transitioned to more virtual shopping and shop right from home.
I like it. You know, Thanksgiving's coming, so we could probably use some of that. And we
have a lot of seasonal recipes, which, you know, because again, we understand, you know, you're not taking my mashed potatoes away from me. We would never want to do that. But for me, it's all about inclusivity. And that's what's so exciting about new products is what new things can I add? It's not about taking away. It's what new things can I add to my refrigerator? What new things can I add to my pantry? And I love that.
Like if you've been eating more starch and things, you may want to add some greens in there so you can have a better flow.
Right, and that's certainly
with the probiotics, that'll help also.
Yeah, again, it's all about addition, not subtraction. That's for sure.
Right. So you have this new apple harvest salad. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this recipe is so great because we get to feature 2 of our new organic products. We have our organic Fuji apples and our organic pears.
Right. Yeah, and this is apple picking season too.
I know. I am honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm doing this recipe too, is because so many of us are just rolling in apples right now and, you know, absolutely make the apple crumble, make the pie, enjoy it. But you could put apples in a lot of other things too, like oatmeal and like salad. And a lot of times people forget that salad is such a wonderful base for getting fancy with your fruit and including things that maybe you wouldn't have thought to include on top of a bed of salad greens. So that's what we're starting with today. I have our Wholesome Pantry Spring Mix. And all you have to do to start this, I picked a very easy recipe. And my biggest thing whenever I'm talking recipes to our customers is just because I'm showing you what I like to use, don't let a recipe dictate whether or not you want to make it that way. If you prefer, let's say I'm using dried cranberries. If you don't like cranberries, use raisins. Use other dried fruit. You have to like it because that's why you're going to eat it.
Yeah, get creative. Get creative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of times people get a little frightened of recipes like, oh, I don't have every single ingredient. And that's not what it should be about. They're meant to inspire, not to scare. So I talk about that a lot when I'm on social media doing these recipes. All right. So
you do this live demonstration at ShopRite also?
Right now we're doing them virtually on social media only.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so I already cut up 1 apple and 1 pear, and I sliced it nice and thin, and I'm just tossing them in there. And like I said, I picked a really easy recipe. We're not even cooking today, but we're gonna make it a complete meal because I switched a couple of things. So instead of the beets, I'm using chickpeas, and that way I can add some fiber and add some protein. So now we have a lunch that's gonna keep us full, and we didn't even have to cook anything. If you're not a big bean fan, use a rotisserie chicken and just pull the meat off and use that instead. That would be delicious in here as well.
Wow.
Then I have some goat cheese. I'm just gonna sprinkle about a 1/4 cup on there. And again, if you don't like goat cheese, then use a cheddar cheese would be really good in this. Apples and pears also go really great on a grilled cheese. I speak from experience. And then you can use your favorite dressing. I'm going to make a quick vinaigrette here that I make all the time and that people usually love their vegetables when they eat this. So I have a 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. I'm putting in a tablespoon of maple syrup. And you could use honey if you want to. You could use agave nectar. And I'm putting about a heaping teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Again, the recipe online, you could totally use your own dressing. I just always like to show people some different ways that they can kind of make their vegetables more interesting.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then I'm just going to chop up, let me move this out of the way. Shallots to me are one of the most underused vegetables. They're so good because they're not as harsh as onions, but they give you enough of that flavor so that you have that like red onion flavor, but without the bite of an onion. So
I'm not going to say anything while you're cutting.
I know. I've gotten pretty good at that with all of the live demonstrations. So, but we always want to be safe.
There you go.
And then you got to have mason jars in your kitchen because they're wonderful for shaking up the dressing.
I love them. Yeah.
And then you have it to store, which is wonderful. We like when things are easy.
I use those to make a quick green drink. I put some greens in there, with orange juice, shake it up, you know, and then.
And for your overnight oats too. Again, another great way to use apples. And then I'm just tossing everything together. And I mean, you talked about the holidays. People forget, you know, if you want to bring to like a Friendsgiving or a potluck, something like this is a great starter that still has all of those fall ingredients. You pared your apples, you know, your cranberries. And what you could do, you could even take like an herb seasoning or add, like I have the like poultry herbs, and you can add that in, and then you can make it, you know, a little bit more fall. And that's what it's all about, taking that standard recipe and bringing in your own twist. And you have a beautiful
salad. Excellent. Very great. Good.
Yeah. Now, and now I have lunch.
Now that you have our audience salivating here, can we get that? Can we buy that online? Well, let me get a fork.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Let me get a fork. Wait a minute.
Here you go.
There you go. Toss some of that over here.
I know. I wish we could. Yeah. Just like Willy Wonka, we could put it through the TV.
Yeah. Shelbi,
all of our...
throw some of that over here.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. So we can get this online?
They're all shoppable on ShopRite.com at our recipe shop. We link to all the ingredients, and you know, you can substitute them if you want as well. And then at ShopRite.com/meal inspiration, you could find 5 weeknight meals to make dinner easier.
All right. Yeah. You know, because people are looking for healthy eating spots, because there's so many places out there and people delivering so many different things that, you know, you're looking, what can I eat that's healthy today? You know, most of the time.
Right. And like I said, it's all about addition and bringing in some of these great new, you know, vegetable and fruit products and just making some additions to round out those meals and, you know, have some good for you food.
That's great. I'm glad you're here. Where can we go once again to learn more about it?
Absolutely. It's ShopRite.com/meal inspirations or ShopRite.com/welleveryday. To help find a retail dietitian near you. We do have dietitians in over 120 stores that are still serving you with virtual and in-person services throughout all of this.
Go. Shelbi, thank you so much. Shelbi Thurau, ShopRite dietitian, doing her thing. And she reminds us that you can become creative. You don't have to stick solely to the recipe. You can add a few things that you like also, right, Shelbi?
Absolutely. You have to like it so that you eat it.
You have to like it. You're going to be eating it, and you're going to be serving it.
Yes.
Shelbi, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by, okay?
Thanks so much.
I have my fork ready. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Right. Thank you. Shelbi Thurau from ShopRite. She's a fantastic dietitian. She does her thing, and we're going to go online and check out more. All right, we'll take a break right here. I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I have my fork ready, and she did toss some over to me. She can do it a number of ways. Fax it, email it, social media. You know. We'll take a break. I've got more on Open next. welcome back. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you know, our next guest is the pastor of the Infinity Bible Church in the South Bronx, and he joins us today to take a look at the production that he's doing of his latest film, Chicago, America's Hidden War, and how he's highlighting issues within the Black community. Please welcome to the show our pastor, Pastor Salaberrios. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Bob, and what a joy to be on with you. And been listening to you before I knew Jesus, and I'm listening to you still with Jesus. So you're a great help on those long rides as well.
Well, I've been around for some time, but I love the work that you're doing in the community. You're always out there. I always say, you know, people have their sleeves rolled up, doing some great things in our community. And just give us a little overview of how you got started into what you're doing today.
So many years ago, I was a drug dealer, wrote a book called Street God that has that entire story in there. So I was a drug dealer in Queens and Hollis Avenue, and then started to expand down into the South. And by God's grace, when some people came to try to kill me, I prayed, and when they pulled the trigger, no bullets came out of that gun. And from that point on, I said, Lord, I'm living for you. And I've just been with him ever since, and came back to New York and just turned my whole life around, went into the Bronx, to the toughest projects out there, Bronx River, the birthplace of hip hop, where Africa Bambaataa, Zulu Nation, and all those groups are, and just started loving up on the dealers out there and the hustlers and the people on the streets. And we brought drug dealing down to an all-time low. And we watched killings leave that projects for over 18 years. And so then I had the idea, let me go into Chicago where all the killings are and see if we can bring some of our wisdom from New York. And we launched this film called Chicago, America's Hidden War. That'll be in the theaters on June 15th, on January 15th. Martin Luther King's birthday weekend, and we'd love for people to come out and let's get our masks on and let's get back to some normal living.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about what you're doing, your fantastic work in Chicago, but you have a New York Times bestseller also.
Yeah, Street God wrote that
explains
book.
A lot of the stuff that you've been through.
Yeah, it goes through life, goes through the struggles, the successes, and it's translated into many different other languages, and it's been a bestseller around the world. So we're honored. Yeah, and it's being developed to a television show as we speak right now.
And you've been traveling around the world, helping others get what they need out of life. You've been to all sorts of areas where there's devastation, people needing help, protesting, demonstrations. And how did you latch on to what was happening in Chicago? Because it got really, really bad out there.
You know, my publisher of my book, Street God, was in the outskirts of Chicago. So I went there very naive. I didn't know what was going on. And they said, do you know right across the water is where there's more killings than Afghanistan and Iraq put together? And I said, what? So with my humble self, I went on all these radio programs in Chicago, and I said, let's all meet down at Daly Plaza, and we're gonna fight against the homicides. And Bob, this doesn't happen to you a lot, but only 6 people showed up. It was a disaster. 6 people showed up, and we got into a little circle to pray, and little did I know, we made the cover of one of the Chicago Sun-Times. And the caption
God is
was,
good. That's because you have a hedge of protection around you.
Yeah. What I thought was a disaster ended up being a blessing.
Yes.
And it said this New York City pastor came to Chicago to pray. And then ever since then, I've gone down there. Hundreds of groups have gathered to meet with me. And we said, what can we do over the course of a summer when the killings are the worst to stop them? And we came up with this idea called Jesus Summer. For 40 days, we hit every drug block, every corner. Over 170 churches were involved, and we went to the worst blocks, and the killings went down by 25%.
Yeah.
Shootings dropped. Yeah, killings dropped.
Yeah, and you know, you put your life on the line, and not only that, you take your family with you. Now, you were not only in those danger areas, those danger zones, but you wanted to fast. You said, I'm not going to eat until we get something straight, and God's going to help me with it. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I went on a hunger strike with great hope and prayer that this media that it would be covered all over the country. I've been on every single network there is. I've been on Good Morning America, CBS, CNN, Fox, any media outlet that you could just about talk about. I've been on it before. So I was hoping that by me starving myself, losing 35 pounds, that someone would care. But what they expressed was, unfortunately, that the killings in Chicago are covered so much that people just don't care anymore. So apathy has become the enemy to helping our people. And our people in Chicago are dying daily. They're being shot and killed every day. Even while we're on this program, people are being shot every 2 hours and 9 minutes in Chicago. So we got to call in forces as Black people. We got to understand this is our war. This can't be hid in the dark. If this was Columbine, there'd be counselors there. There'd be people flying in with jets. The army would be on the ground. They would find a way to stop it. But because it's Black and brown people, our Latino brothers as well, you know, because it's us, they're just allowing our people to die and be killed. Children are sleeping under their beds, scared that they're going to be shot at night. So we got to do something, Bob. And that's why I'm glad that you have me on this program so we can stir up and raise up an army. Yeah.
They give me about a minute and a half. You did a documentary about it. Give us a quick synopsis about that documentary and where we can watch it and check it out.
So you can find the documentary in the theaters on January 15th, all over the nation. We have great distribution with CineLife, and we're honored to be with them. And you can come out, find the movie, enjoy the movie, and then join the movement where we're going to hit the streets again in Chicago.
There you go. And the name of the movie is Chicago,
America's Hidden War.
And you're going to bring it to light. You're going to let everybody know what's going on. Because people hear different things, but you went inside. You were in the trenches. Even had to go to the hospital for it, too, because you put your life on the line.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the most craziest cities that you want to experience. I mean, when we had our kids, we were driving, and we almost drove right in the middle of a shootout. And I had to spin the car into a U-turn. I had to send my kids to a camp while me and my wife walked around with bulletproof vests. Wow. And, you know, it was just, when I tell you, when we left there, it was like post-traumatic stress syndrome. Like every minute that you're out there, you're constantly hearing shootings. It's worse than I've ever seen anywhere on the planet. I was in DC when it was the murder capital. I was in New York City when it was the murder capital. Chicago is a war. It is a war zone, and we got to do something about it, Bob.
Well, Pastor, we thank you for the work that you're doing in our community, and we love you. And once again, where can we go? Is there a website where we can go and check it out, get all the listings and everything?
Yeah, so the best thing to do right now is just Google Chicago, America's Hidden War, and you can read articles on it. You can follow us on Facebook. And there's many, many more things that are coming. I'm bringing this fresh to my friend, Dr. Bob Lee's show. But in the next few weeks, there's going to be websites and everything else launching up. So stay tuned. You won't be able to miss it.
Pastor Dimas Salaberrios, yes.
Thank you, man.
Chicago, America's Hidden War, and how he's highlighting issues within our Black community. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
We love you. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made.
I will rejoice and be glad.
Be glad in it. We'll take a break. I've got more coming up next right here on Open. Welcome back, everybody. You know, our next guest is a video motion graphics artist, and she's here to speak about her handcrafted art pieces to promote her eco-friendly jewelry. It's beautiful. She has the accessory company there. Let's call it Eco Bloom. Please welcome to the show, Melisa Ramos. How are you? Good morning. How are you? Good afternoon. Good evening.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me.
So you've been on the show before. You're no stranger to the show, and you've been doing a lot of things. Now, I think some of the other things that you do before we get into your current business, tell us about it. Give us a little background on you.
Well, I would say I started in the arts since I was a kid. I started sewing when I was like 10, and I always had like micromotor skills.
Yeah.
So I always liked working with tiny things. And even if I didn't have a toy, I would find something to play with, you know, because it would be tiny, tiny things.
And you would make your own, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Like my dad would punish me, and then he would find me playing with a piece of paper. Like, what am I gonna do with this girl? And from sewing and making dresses, I went into jewelry. And when I was in college, I sold at markets. I was certified as an artisan in Puerto Rico. And I started working with, with seeds, with wood, like a lot of work that's really highly crafted. And I found this type of art that I saw, and I saw it's done in Africa, in Uganda. They have a company. I've seen this. I've seen it in Mexico.
Yeah. When
I moved to the US, is that I see how much paper they throw away. Everywhere. I was like,
so wait a minute, I can do something with that.
I could do something because it's so much, the ways to sew, so much. And mostly this art is done with magazine paper. But how can I find so much magazines? So when I come to New York, I see so many flyers everywhere, like in a gallery, in a restaurant, like so many. And the patterns are so pretty because flyers are made to promote something, an event. So they're very colorful and they are glossy. And that's what gives an advantage to my product because they are already plastified. So I don't need to coat this with anything else.
Look at that.
To put more glue or any plastic, right? Because that is more contamination.
Yeah. So you mentioned something about Africa and Puerto Rico. If you go to Piñones, you see a lot of things like that, in different stands. What part of Puerto Rico are you from? Where did you start from?
I'm from Toa Baja.
All right.
It's you can see it at the other side of the bay of San Juan.
Yeah.
The beach town.
That's over in Lajos and Boquerón and all of that, way over there?
No. That's the southwest. I'm in the north.
Okay. All right. So you came up with this idea, and now you're doing it, and it's doing well. So you have some of them in back of you. Explain them.
Yes. So, for instance, this is a bracelet.
Yeah.
And it is, right, the technique is rolling the paper like a cylinder.
Yeah. Wow.
And it turns like really, really hard, right? And the paper is already glossy. So it's, it resists perspiration, like sweat, don't throw it in water, please, because it's still jewelry. I always tell people, when you buy a jewel, you treat it like a jewel, right? You just don't toss it. And it's handmade. So, and I do everything. I assemble it, and I do the finishings as well. So for instance, this one that's like yellow, green, and orange, I remember this flyer. This was what is that, the Irish stuff?
It was an Irish flyer?
Yes, it's a beer actually.
Oh, okay.
It has
Yeah.
yellow, it has gray, and it has the
Uh-huh.
green.
Yeah.
So I remember this, and the great thing when I pick flyers, you know, sometimes people may say, why is she picking so many? But all my pieces are unique or they are limited edition.
Yeah. So Melissa, if I come and put a bunch of flyers on a counter in like a food shop or a place, half of them would be gone if you walked in there, right?
Yeah, I'll grab like 20. And,
You're taking my flyers.
yeah,
That's good
I
though.
mean,
That's how you came up with the name, you know, because a lot of people throw those flyers out too because the data's gone,
Right.
it passed, and you still see a bunch of flyers on the table there. So that's how you got the name, Eco Bloom. Bloom.
Blooming like a flower, right?
Yes.
And for me,
But your business is booming.
yes. So
Go ahead.
for me, it's like, you know, what we take from nature, we're giving back to nature because we're not reusing again nature. We're upcycling. So now with quarantine, I can't go outside, or I'm not gonna see that many flyers, honestly.
Yeah.
Besides the takeout food.
Yeah. So people have to send you stuff though. You get the magazines and everything?
I'm using coffee wrappers.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, coffee, because they are shiny. There's a
It
different.
has the coating on it already. Yeah.
They're metallic, you know, because it's a metal paper, and they're so shiny. They're lovely. When I make these, I also use the silver
Oh,
side.
look at that.
People love them. They buy them right away. I'm using chocolate candy wrappers.
Look at that.
A lot of chocolate.
Talking about being creative. Look at you.
Yeah, so now I'm going through all the paper that's in like my food,
Yeah.
and reusing it again, like coffee, and exploring this other type of texture.
Is there a way you can put that out there where if anybody's throwing away items like this, to save them, recycle them, send them to maybe a place where you can get them?
Wow,
Not yet.
that would be great. But what I usually do is that at my jobs, because at the job, everywhere there's paper.
Yes.
So at my jobs, I always ask, like, can you give me the leftover, like the oldest catalogs of the school?
Mhm.
Those have great art. So I used to teach at an art institute, and the graphic design department gave me like 3,000. She's like, oh, this is old. So I have so many. I have friend artists who work at print shops.
Oh, okay.
So I get from print shops.
So you're straight. You're good. You have your supply. You know where to go.
I know where to go. Yeah.
And where can we go to learn more about what you're doing?
You can go on Instagram at eco-bloom, or you can go at ecobloomfashion.com.
Uh-huh.
And
Thank you so much. We love the work that you're doing, and perhaps we'll come over and buy a couple of pieces from you.
Sure, thank you.
And that's on that website that you just mentioned, right?
Yes.
All right. Melisa Ramos, she's doing her thing. She's a professional video editor, motion graphics artist, and instructor with a broad experience in video and TV post-production. Thank you for all that you're doing. Very creative. We love you.
Thank you.
All right. We have somebody that's creative in the world of sports. Bobby C coming up next on Open.
Good morning, sports fans. The last time out, we had a chance to do some NBA trivia for the NBA Finals. This morning, we'll get an opportunity to enjoy some more World Series coverage with our Fall Classic trivia. So we bring in two friends, two great reporters from WFUV. We got Emmanuel Barbari and Jackson Heil with us. Jackson, E-Man, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Jackson? Ready to get on?
Listen, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to whoop your butt right now. So let's get to it. I'm excited.
I was telling Bobby before, I'm a bit frightened by the prospect of losing to you in a trivia game.
All right, gents, I'll give you the rules real quick. So we've got 10 questions, and the final question number 10, is worth 2 points. Each of the other questions is worth 1. If you answer incorrectly, you get a -1. If you answer correctly, you get, of course, +1. And all you have to do is, after I've read the question and all 4 of the multiple choice answers, all you have to do is say your name to hop in to respond to answering the question correctly.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go. World Series trivia here on BronxNet this morning. Question number 1. Who is the first non-U.S. team to win the World Series? The options are the Winnipeg Golden Eyes, the Montreal Expos, the Toronto Blue Jays, or the Vancouver Canadians. Jackson answered in first.
Toronto Blue Jays.
The Toronto Blue Jays is correct. +1 for Jackson. He takes an early lead. Blue Jays, of course, won the World Series in 1992. They would repeat the following year in 1993. So, question number 2, guys. What year was the first World Series played in? Your options are, Emmanuel, go ahead. I should let me read the rest of the multiple. 1884, 1903, 1921, or 1910?
1903.
1903 is correct. Yes, although there were other postseason championships that took place as early as 1884, the World Series was not established until 1903. And the Boston Pilgrims, for those at home that are playing along, played the Pittsburgh Pirates in a best-of-9 championship series. Jackson and E-Man are tied at 1 as we go to question number 3 on our World Series trivia here on BronxNet. Which Baltimore Oriole was named Most Valuable Player of the 1970 World Series? Options are Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, Brady Anderson, or Frank Robinson.
Emmanuel.
Ooh, Emmanuel. What is your answer, E-Man?
Brooks Robinson.
Brooks Robinson is correct. Robinson won the World Series MVP award after hitting .429. He broke the record for total bases in a 5-game series with 17. He tied the record for the most hits in one game with 4 and tied teammate Paul Blair for the most hits in a 5-game series with 9. All right, question number 4 here on World Series trivia. Who holds the record for the most innings pitched in a single World Series game? Cy Young, Whitey Ford, Christy Mathewson, or Babe Ruth?
Pass.
Yeah, I'm going to pass this one too.
All right. Wow, both passing up on that one. Babe Ruth, yes, in Game 2 of the 1916 World Series, Ruth pitched a 14-inning complete game to beat the team that went on to become the Dodgers. They were known then as the Brooklyn Robins. All right, question number 5. E-Man has a 2-1 lead going into question 5. Who is the only pitcher to start 4 consecutive World Series Game 1s? Bob Gibson, Whitey Ford, Herb Pennock, or Cy Young?
Jackson. Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson is incorrect. -1 for Jackson.
Wow. Damn.
I'm going to pass.
Oh, E-Man with a little bit of strategy here. Passing up on question number 5, keeping the lead. All right, well, the correct answer is Whitey Ford. The Hall of Famer accomplished this feat not once, gentlemen, but actually twice. He was the Yankee Game 1 pitcher from 1955 through 1958, and then 1961 through 1964. Rest in peace, Whitey Ford.
Everyone out there, there's a lesson to go with your gut. Yankee guy in the room, the consecutive series in the 50s and 60s, got to know something like that. So, you know, I'm mentally subtracting 1, even though it doesn't reflect it on the scoreboard.
All right, Jackson, you're down, my man. You're down 2-0 now with Emmanuel going into question number 6 here. So question number 6 on our World Series trivia. What player holds the record for the most World Series home runs? Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, or Hank Aaron?
Jackson.
Jackson.
Oh man. I mean, like, I feel like I got to go with Babe Ruth here.
Oof, no, Jackson, it is not Babe Ruth.
I'm digging myself my own hole right now. Damn.
I'm going to go with Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle is correct, E-Man. Yes, the Mick with 18 career World Series home runs. That's a pretty amazing statistic. He played in 12 fall classics.
Wow.
I wonder if the called shot counts as like 2 home runs.
It might.
Should.
It should. Maybe the Babe would be past the Mick. The Mick never called a shot, so let's be real here.
All right, Jackson, you can't go into negative territory, so you're just losing 3-0 here at the moment. You need all these questions to tie it up here.
Is he the Red Sox?
He's got to come back here in our World Series trivia. Question number 7. Who is the only World Series MVP from a losing team? Raleigh Fingers, Bobby Richardson, Pete Rose, or Brooks Robinson?
I can't go any further into the depth, so might as well go with Brooks.
Incorrect, Jackson. Incorrect.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all the other answers, so that's why I kind of went with Brooks there, but can't go any further at this point.
I passed earlier, so I'm already out.
All right, well, the correct answer for question number 7 of who is the only World Series MVP from a losing team is Bobby Richardson. In the 1960 series, Yankees second baseman Bobby Richardson was named MVP after hitting .367 with 12 RBIs, becoming the first and only MVP to play for the losing team. Yankees, of course, lost in 7 games. Question number 8, which is the only current franchise to never appear in a World Series? San Diego Padres, Seattle Mariners, Milwaukee Brewers, or the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Jackson. Seattle Mariners.
The Seattle Mariners is correct. Back in the game, 3-1 lead for E-Man. Seattle's been to the ALCS 3 times, but has never advanced to the Fall Classic. Question number 9. Which team won the most World Series during the decade of the 2010s? The Boston Red Sox, the St. Louis Cardinals, the San Francisco Giants, or the New York Yankees?
Hey, you gotta wait on that.
You did it before. San Francisco
that is
Giants.
intentional.
All right, we'll give. I was almost through reading all the answers, so I guess we'll give Jackson a shot to stay in the game here. Yes, the correct answer is the Giants. They won 3 World Series in the decade of the 2010s. They won in 2010, 2012, and 2014. All right, interesting final question because E-Man leads 3-2 going into question number 10. Only one professional athlete has played in both a Super Bowl and a World Series, worth 2 points.
I know
Your
this too.
selections are Bo Jackson, John Elway, Deion Sanders, or Kenny Lofton.
Jackson.
Jackson.
Deion Sanders.
The correct answer is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, only professional athlete to have played both in a World Series and a Super Bowl. He went to the World Series with the Atlanta Braves and the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. Jackson with the win, the come-from-behind victory.
I'm calling an illegitimate win, and I'm calling an asterisk, as Jackson would like to put it, on the second to last question.
Hey,
We
if
need
we're
a
doing
rematch.
if we're doing asterisks on the second question, you said your name before the answers were even read.
All right, 3-2 final score, not 4-3.
No, just remember, a few things will go down in history. The 04 Yankees and Emmanuel Ribari today. And
Fair.
the list of colossal failures of all time.
There.
Gents, you both played very well this morning on our World Series trivia, but before we let you go, we just wanted to give a little plug to everything that's going great at WFUV Sports. Of course, E-Man is a sports manager. Jackson is the assistant sports manager. Was hoping you guys could give a shout to the new time slot for one-on-one on Saturday nights.
Yeah, 11p to 2a Saturday nights. We're on 90.7 FM. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so be sure to check us out. Also, on-demand content on YouTube all the time. So, Jackson, excited for a new chapter in one-on-one.
Yeah, plenty of great interviews that we have on those shows, obviously. And also, we're doing our midweek shows as well. I know I'm doing one tonight with Andrew Galata, so be sure to stay tuned for our midweek shows as well. And obviously, 11 to 2 a.m. on Saturday nights and Sunday morning. So exciting. Bobby, thanks again for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming on, guys. You're both winners in my book.
welcome back. I'm the Doc Bob Lee. And our next guest is a nominee for the City Council representing the 11th District, who joins the show to speak about her campaign and her vision to create more equitable future for the Bronx and its constituents. Please welcome to the show, Jessica Halla. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you.
So you're running, huh?
I'm running fast and hard. Thanks for having me.
Give us a little background on you.
Yeah, sure. Please. So I'm a mom of 4. I'm an entrepreneur. I know you support entrepreneurs in the Bronx on your show. And I've been a climate activist for many, many years. I'm driven by passion. I'm driven by my passion for my children, for all of our children, a deep understanding of science, and a good ability to communicate sort of between science and what can be done in the world. I believe in yes and for a lot of things, that it's not one or the other, but it's yes and it's not either or. And I believe that everything is connected. So I'm running for New York City Council to create a vision, or the reality of a vision of a sustainable, equitable, and resilient Bronx and New York City.
And the 11th District, what does that consist of?
So we are the northwest corner of the Bronx, half of Wakefield, Woodlawn, Norwood, Bedford Park, Kingsbridge, Van Cortlandt Village, Riverdale, Spuyten Duyvil, and North Riverdale.
So you've got issues.
I got issues. I also got Van Cortlandt Park. I describe it, we're pearls around Van Cortlandt Park is what all the communities are.
What would you like your constituents to know about you and the issues?
Okay, so I want to quote David Dinkins, if I may, to begin this. When I was growing up, I was taught that New York City was a melting pot. After all, my grandmother had come through Ellis Island, and that's what we were told, right? To quote David Dinkins, we're not a melting pot, we are a gorgeous mosaic.
There you go.
And the 11th District is a gorgeous mosaic. Each of these communities has a different vibe, a different main street, a different socioeconomic breakdown, different needs. What I am seeing across the district is a real care and concern for our children, our schooling, what's going on in the public schools and how we're gonna survive and rebuild. Economic rebuilding and recovery from this pandemic, and a real care and concern for the future. So I look at it as using the opportunity of the breakdown and the crises that we are in, strangely, the opportunity of it to build back. I mean, to quote Joe Biden, I guess, to build back better. I didn't mean to say that from him, but to go in that direction.
Yes. And so, you know, when you get into the city council, you're going to work with a number of different people moving together in the same direction for a common cause. And that's what it's all about, because, you know, sometimes people say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Yes, that's wishful thinking. That's exactly what we want to do. But, you know, you have to get other people to climb on board and just move the ball down the road. Not kick the can down the road, but move the ball in the direction that you want to go.
Right. I mean, believe it or not, I was the captain of my high school basketball team. So I know you're never going to believe that. Yeah. I played center too, which is what you get in the Jewish League in New York City. You
blocked a lot of shots.
Yeah. It's about working together. There are a lot of amazing people running for council, and a lot of them come from different perspectives. We have housing advocates, we have education experts. I am really pushing front and center with a strong scientific base and climate and sustainability and understanding that's all connected. And that's why I want to be the voice in the future to work with and build coalition starting in the Bronx and for the whole city. New York City is in the middle of a Green New Deal for New York City, which is amazing. Costa Castanides, who's a council member today from Queens, forward. I want to push it broader, deeper, faster, and I want to include more people with an economic recovery, you know, green investment in green jobs focus on the Bronx, right? Let's be loud enough in the Bronx to bring the attention that we need.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Yeah, that wasn't.
What inspired you to run for city council in 2021?
I'm sorry, I missed you.
What inspired you to get the ball rolling and run in 2021?
So now is the moment. And it's funny because I announced before the pandemic, I actually announced my campaign in January. We need to move forward. The next decade is critical in our world for so many reasons. Science tells us that we need to be prepared for what's coming. We've already felt it. I mean, we're just still reeling from Isaiah this summer. Now is the moment for me. My children, are little, and I want to create a world for them and a city for them that is equitable and resilient.
And we have the 21s going. So how did you get mixed in with the 21 and 21?
Yeah, so 21 and 21 is an amazing organization with Amelia Adams as chair of the board and leading that charge. There are a couple of very important numbers for the city council. There are 51 city council members representing 8.5 million New Yorkers. Of them, today, there are only 12 women. So our very progressive, very forward-looking city only has 12 out of 51 women in the council. And then by the end of this year, there will only be 6 left because 6 are terming out. So the question is, how do you create a fairly representative council when you don't even have enough women to put on all of the committees that we have? And how do you have different lived experiences when you don't have the diversity that we need? So 21 and 21 was formed, and I jumped in before I was even a candidate to say we need at least 21 women on the city council by the end of 2021. Yeah. And I'm thrilled to be the first choice endorsed candidate for District 11 from 21 to 21, and thrilled to be working and meeting with other amazing women across the borough and across the city through the organization.
I'm running. I'm going to get in there, block some shots, and slam dunk. No, I'm speaking for you. You're the center. But Jessica, where can we go to get more information on what you're doing?
Oh, great. So jessicahaller.com is my website, JESSICAHALLER.com. Yeah. And then on Twitter at Jessica Haller. Very simple. Thank you so much.
Jessica Haller. Thank you so much, Jessica. And good luck to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, wow. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can follow BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Thank you for letting me share in this space and time with you. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day, but don't forget, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice, and let your choice control the chooser. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. Don't forget to exercise your right to vote. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.